Hey, and welcome back to another episode of The Chef's Table. I'm Chef Evelyn, and I'm a culinary brand strategist that specializes in helping chefs live, cook, and work on their own terms. And the way I do that is by helping them charge premium prices by creating high-end culinary brands. And so in today's episode, I just want to talk about 3 signs it might be time to increase your prices, right? So I know we've talked about some of the benefits of increasing your prices, some of the things that you need to consider before, increasing your prices. We've talked about what it takes to get started on charging your price, increasing your prices, But I kind of want to talk about here are 3 signs, symptoms, if you will, right? That you might be in a place where it is time to increase your prices. So if it is your first time here, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I hope that you enjoy your stay in this little corner of the internet. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. Listen, you came back because you was hungry for more. Okay, and if you like what you heard by the end of this video, make sure you subscribe, and that way you can stay up to date on getting these weekly trainings that I share with those of you who are trying to build and grow and expand your culinary businesses. So I want to jump right into the 3 signs that, it may be time to increase your prices. And the first one is that you don't really have any margin in your schedule to take on any more clients, meaning that, you're already, kind of full as it is, or even if you're not full, you're like, this is as much work as I can handle right now, because obviously, you've got as many deals or contracts or clients or selling whatever you're selling, and it's I don't necessarily want to work more, but I definitely do want to increase my revenue. And you've probably gone through the thing of looking at your food costs and your labor costs and how can you reduce that and all of that, and you might be like, listen, I'm doing a lot of work, but the return is not here, right? And so you don't have a lot of margin in your schedule for the solution of adding another revenue stream or, taking on more work, right? So if you're in that place, then it may be time to increase your prices. I think about it, people that are catering or doing dinner parties or teaching cooking classes or meal prep or personal chefing, things like that. You can hit a point where you're it's only me, and short of hiring a staff and trying to replicate myself, or trying to work 2 clients in a day or more clients in a day or more longer hours or more days a week, you're I like what I'm doing, but it's not doing what it's supposed to do. It's not giving what it's supposed to gave. Okay, is that what the young people say? And so it might be time to increase your prices, right? When you just don't have the physical margin to add another revenue stream, to take on more clients, and maybe you're not even ready to start hiring people to duplicate yourself, right? So that this is probably the time to increase your prices. The second thing where, it may be a sign that you need to increase your prices is that, you're not hitting your revenue goals. You got a constant influx of clients, business is doing okay, but you're not getting the kind of clients that you want. And so I guess that's a fourth thing. You're not getting the kind of clients that you want, but you're also not hitting your revenue goals, right? And you're okay, I feel like I'm firing on all cylinders. I feel like I'm cooking on all the burners. Why is this, thing not growing and expanding in the way that I wanted to? And it's probably because you may not have that high-end culinary brand that's drawing the right kind of clientele that allows you to charge the kind of prices you need to charge to hit your goals with ease, right? If you feel when the first of the month hits, you're off to the races to hit your goals, then it's just kind of you know what I'm saying? It may be time to increase your prices, right? Because you've probably looked at, okay, well, maybe I should change my marketing strategy, or maybe, I should be doing something completely different. And it may not be that at all, right? It may be just as simple as, you have not positioned your brand properly and your pricing structure properly to be able to hit your revenue goals. I tell people all the time, if you want to make X amount of money a month, but you're only selling something for super, low prices, you're going to have to sell a lot of that to do that. And you could possibly be burnt out, by the end of that. Or it may seem so impossible that it feels discouraging or overwhelming or something like that. Like, I definitely have been there where, I had, certain revenue goals, and I was looked at the way that I had priced my business, and I was like, yeah, I physically am not going to be able to do that, or I have no idea how I'm going to hit that, right? And part of the reason is because it was just out of alignment. Like, the goal and the pricing didn't match up, and so I needed to increase my prices, right? And then the third thing, right? And so this won't be a super long video because y'all know your girl can get chatty over here because I'd be excited to tell you about the things. Like, I feel like there's a lot of great people in the culinary space that are teaching you how to, be a food blogger or teach your cooking classes, which is something that I do. So I'm not, diminishing that, right? Or how to be a personal chef, right? But they're not teaching you like the business part. Like, they're teaching you how to like maybe create it, but they're not teaching you like, okay, if you want to get more clients, increase your prices, increase loyalty, how to sell to people, multiple times, how to be strategic, how to think long term, all that kind of stuff, right? Like, I think there's some great people doing great things, but listen, over here, I love to talk about like the business of being a chef, and not just the skill of whatever it is, not just the skill of being a personal chef or a caterer or a food blogger or things like that. So anyway, let's get into the last point. And here's the one. Here's where I find a lot of people, and it's kind of like going to a doctor. Like, I really a lot of my clients come to me when they hit this point, and I always wish I could tell them like, you could have came to me sooner. But it's when they're like on the verge of quitting. They're burnt out, they're tired, they've tried everything. They've taken some kind of social media course, they've taken a personal chef course, a catering course, a PR course, they've taken, a marketing course, a branding course. They've done all these things, and they're just like, okay, or they've taken things to, increase their skill set, how to take better photos, food styling. They've done all these things, and just like, I am so lost and confused. I've done all the things, they've Google searched themselves to death. They've tried to see what other chefs are doing. They're trying to do the best what they know how to do. But the problem is that you don't know what you don't know. And so by the time they get to me, they're on the verge of quitting. Like, they love what they do, but they're just like, I can't keep up at this pace, like, and it not give me what I needed to give. And one of the things that that made me really want to start teaching on this years ago and really helping clients work through this is particularly for my career changers. I have a really soft spot for those of us that, left a career, usually a very lucrative career, whether it's in engineering or tech or finance or healthcare or nonprofits, whatever. And these are all like actual clients of mine that I'm talking about, right? Or myself, right? Just a variety of industries. And where, we were making good money and we had a nice standard of living, but we really wanted to do something that we're passionate about. And like, it just never sits well with me, and it doesn't sit well with my clients, that in order to do what they love, they have to sacrifice the life that they are accustomed to. And so, I remember being in culinary school and having a really good friend, like, she had worked in corporate and I worked in corporate, and, we both went through culinary school and graduated culinary school, but culinary school does not teach entrepreneurship. I loved it, but it doesn't teach entrepreneurship, not in the way that I think it needs to be taught. And I remember that after several years, we both worked for different companies, did different things. Like, she eventually had to go back to corporate because she just couldn't find a model that, one, didn't work her to death, right? And be exhausting, but also could afford her the lifestyle that she was accustomed to. She was like, listen, I love this, but I just couldn't keep going at that pace and working like that, right? So, if you find yourself in a place where you're like, you know what, forget this, I'm just going to go back to my previous career field, even though I don't really do it, but I can't keep going, you know, or you find yourself in that rock and the hard place where you don't really want to go back, but you don't really want to quit, but you don't know what else to do, then it might be, you know, time to increase your prices, right? And if you find yourself in any one of these situations that we talked about today, then I made a masterclass just for you. It's called the How to Charge Premium Prices in Your Food Brand, the High-End Culinary Brand Masterclass. And it's on demand. It is a 90-minute deep dive into what it takes to charge premium prices. And I think once you get into that, you will really start to see like, okay, this is what I've been doing that is right. This is what I need to start doing. These are some things that I need to stop doing. This is the path, right? Like, you know, yes, it gives you my step-by-step, what I call dinner party framework on what it takes to charge higher prices, but and it gets you on that path. It gives you that roadmap. But I also think, you know, one of the intangible things that it gives you is it gives you hope that like there is a way to do this that's profitable. It gives you relief, right? That you're not crazy. It's not that you're not intelligent, right? Because, you know, all of my clients are super intelligent women, you know, who were professionals and things like that. And they're just like, I'm smart. Why hasn't this thing clicked for me? And because here's the thing, this is not about whether or not you're smart or not. It's actually not even about whether or not you're talented or not. All those things are a given. All of my clients are talented. You're smart, you're intelligent. So that's not really the issue. The issue is you just don't know what you don't know. Everybody's a fool at something that they don't know, right? And that's not to be, you know, ashamed of or embarrassed about. It's like, you don't know what you don't know. You have not done this before. And so sometimes we think like, just because I was good at this other area, I should automatically be good at this. You know, a lot of times we feel like, if I'm good at my actual thing, cooking, then that automatically means I'm good at business. And I'm here to tell you that's a completely different skill set. Right? It's a completely different skill set to be great at cooking versus being great at being an entrepreneur and running a business, right? And understanding the ins and outs of what it takes to do that. So, you know, I'm kind of taking like all of my years of experience from being in my own business to, you know, running, you know, cooking schools for other people and working in other companies. And I distilled it down so that you can see like, this is what I need to be doing in order to charge premium prices. These are the missing ingredients. These are the things I didn't know, right? And so, you know, if you feel like, yep, I'm at my max workload, or I'm not hitting my revenue goals, or like I'm on the verge of quitting, then go to highendculinarybrand.com, enroll yourself in that masterclass so you can get some relief, okay? And you can get on the path. And then once you enroll and you go through the training in detail, I want you to message me on Instagram and I want you to tell me about your experience with the masterclass. So that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, if you like this video. If you watched to the end, then there must have been something here that you enjoyed. And plus, I just don't want you to miss out when I upload the next training. And so with that being said, I'll see you in my next video. Peace.